The latest development coming out of Pakistan is both alarming and urgent as the National Disaster Management Authority, known as NDMA, has issued a red alert due to the worsening flood situation across Punjab. This update, highlighted in the early morning headlines at 4 a.m. on the 30th of August 2025. Broadcasted by Sama TV, reflects the severity of a natural crisis that is unfolding with intensity. What makes this situation particularly important to analyze is not just the headline itself, but the broader implications, the background dynamics, the technical aspects of such alerts, and how it connects to people's lives at the most human level. A red alert by NDMA is not issued casually. This is the highest level warning in their framework, which indicates that conditions have crossed into dangerous territory. When this kind of warning is given, it means authorities expect life-threatening flooding, infrastructure, disruption, displacement of communities, and significant impacts on agriculture, transportation, and power supply systems. Punjab being the breadbasket of Pakistan, with its extensive river systems like the Indus, Chenab, Ravi, and Sutlej, makes it extremely vulnerable whenever there are heavy rains, glacial melt contributions, or spillovers from dams and barrages. Understanding the context requires looking at how the monsoon pattern has unfolded in August 2025, with continuous downpours saturating the soil, rivers swelling beyond their capacity, and embankments coming under pressure. When we examine the headline format itself, SAMAA TV delivers it in a crisp and urgent tone meant to capture attention in a few seconds. The choice of words, like red alert and heavy flood, immediately creates a sense of gravity. The timestamp of 4 a.m. news headlines indicates that the channel prioritizes delivering updates around, recognizing that disasters don't follow a schedule, and the public needs to be kept informed even in the earliest hours. From a performance perspective of news delivery, this shows efficiency, timeliness, and responsibility towards the audience. Technically, a red alert also implies that local administrations, district management, police, rescue teams, and military assistance might already be mobilized or placed on standby. It signals coordination between meteorological data, river control authorities, and disaster management teams. For the average viewer, it may just appear as a short headline, but the underlying chain of command and decision. The NDMA relies on satellite imagery, water level gauges, rainfall monitoring stations, and predictive hydrology models to determine when to escalate an alert. Issuing it at this level is a recognition that the models show a near certainty of flooding in populated areas rather than just rural fields or isolated riverbanks. Design-wise, the presentation of such news on television follows a familiar template. A bold ticker at the bottom of the screen with red background often accompanies the voiceover, ensuring that viewers can absorb the urgency even without sound. The anchors adopt a serious tone, avoiding unnecessary drama but emphasizing the severity. The background visuals often include footage of rising rivers, water rushing through fields, or distressed communities preparing to evacuate. This combination of audio, visual, and text elements is intentionally crafted to deliver maximum impact and awareness in the shortest possible time. SAAA TV, like other channels, understands that in moments of disaster communication, clarity is more important than entertainment. From a human angle, the floods in Punjab impact millions of people in both rural and urban settings. Farmers face devastation of standing crops such as cotton, rice, sugarcane, and maize, leading not only to local losses, but also to potential disruptions in the national economy. Urban areas, where drainage systems are often inadequate, experience waterlogging, power outages, and breakdown of mobility. Families may be forced to evacuate overnight, children may lose access to schools, and healthcare services come under pressure with the spread of waterborne diseases. Adding to this, the global climate shift has made weather patterns increasingly unpredictable. Heavy downpours concentrated in short bursts can overwhelm systems more than steady rainfall. These technical aspects explain why the NDMA may have moved from earlier advisories or orange alerts to a full red alert on this particular date. Looking at the performance of Sama TV as a broadcaster in this case, one can appreciate how the network balances brevity with depth. In the headline, the keywords are enough to inform, but the follow-up segments often expand with live reports from the ground, interviews with officials, and visuals from affected districts. The immediacy of 4 a.m. coverage means that their correspondents are on duty at odd hours, equipped with mobile transmission technology, satellite uplinks, and resilient reporting strategies. For a viewer, this ensures a sense of real-time connection to events. For the broader media landscape, it demonstrates the competition among channels to be first and most reliable with updates. Unique selling points in this context arise from the way both NDMA and Sama TV approach their roles. NDMA's credibility comes from its data-driven approach and national mandate, making its alerts authoritative. SAMAA. TV's credibility comes from its ability to break the news quickly, package it effectively, and distribute it across television, mobile apps, and social media simultaneously. The cross-platform nature of such updates is crucial in 2025, where people may be away from televisions but still receive push notifications on their phones. The combination of an official red alert and instant broadcast creates a cycle of awareness that reaches citizens faster than ever before. It's also worth noting the design element of how news about floods is framed. Unlike routine political headlines, disaster-related stories often rely on community voices, eyewitness accounts, and visuals of nature's raw power. This design choice makes the news not only informative but also emotionally compelling. When audiences see villagers carrying belongings on their heads through waist-deep water, or rescue boats navigating submerged streets, the crisis becomes real rather than abstract. SAMAA-TV leverages this approach to remind viewers of the human cost behind the technical phrase, red alert. Another performance aspect to analyze is the coordination between NDMA alerts and provincial disaster management authorities, or PD. Punjab's local teams will be the first responders, but their performance depends on how quickly resources are allocated. Relief camps are set up, and evacuation transport is arranged. The red alert thus acts as a trigger point in this chain, pushing provincial administrations into high gear. For the audience, knowing that the red alert has been issued gives some confidence that action is being taken, but it also raises expectations about the speed and effectiveness of the response. The headline also indirectly highlights the vulnerability of Pakistan's infrastructure. Barrages, canals, and embankments, many of them built decades ago, face immense stress during peak monsoon floods. The NDMA's role includes anticipating breaches and issuing warnings to communities living downstream. SAMAA. TV's role is to communicate those warnings quickly, ensuring that even if physical sirens or local announcements fail, television and digital platforms bridge the gap. This integration of institutional performance and media performance is a defining feature of modern disaster management. In terms of technical features, the NDMA Red Alert system integrates color coding for clarity. Green for normal, yellow for watch, orange for warning, and red for severe alert. This universal coding reduces confusion, especially for rural populations where literacy may be lower but colors convey immediate meaning. The transition to red means no ambiguity remains. People must prepare for the worst. 4 news channels like Sama TV, replicating this visual color scheme in tickers and graphics ensures consistency and reinforces the gravity of the situation. The psychological impact of such a headline should not be underestimated. When audiences wake up at 4 a.m. or catch the news early in the morning, the words red alert could trigger anxiety, urgency, and heightened attention. This can be both beneficial as people prepare and remain cautious, and challenging, as it can create panic if not followed with clear guidance. SAMAA-TV typically balances this by including helpline numbers, NDMA advisories, and interviews with experts advising.com but cautious behavior. This design of news presentation combines the dramatic nature of breaking headlines with the practical element of solutions and guidance. From a wider lens, the red alert in Punjab fits into the broader global context of climate emergencies. Countries around the world are issuing similar warnings due to typhoons, hurricanes, floods, and wildfires. For Pakistan, where a large part of the population depends on agriculture and river systems, the vulnerability is even sharper. The Sama TV headline serves not just as a local update, but as part of a global narrative about how nations adapt, prepare, and respond to intensifying climate events. When discussing performance aspects of NDMA, one can also note the role of technology adoption over the years. The authority has been expanding its digital platforms, including apps that send notifications, SMS alert systems in partnership with telecom providers, and integration with local mosques and community centers for message dissemination. The issuance of a red alert at this scale likely triggered all these channels simultaneously, showing how the system is designed for redundancy to maximize reach. For viewers of the Sama TV segment, one of the unique elements is the timestamp of the 30th of August, 2025. This date will be remembered by many as a marker of when the crisis escalated. The inclusion of the time 4 a.m. in the headline creates a sense of immediacy and authenticity. It tells the audience that this is not a recycled story or an old clip being replayed, but a fresh update delivered in real time. Such design choices in journalism are subtle but impactful, enhancing trust and attention. As the crisis unfolds, the role of continuous coverage will be critical. The first alert grabs attention, but the follow-up will determine how people act. Updates on which districts are most affected, which roads are blocked, where relief camps are open, and what helplines are available will transform a headline into a lifeline. Sama TV, through its wide reach, will serve as the conduit between NDMA instructions and public action. In analyzing this headline as a media product, one can appreciate how a simple line condenses multiple layers of reality. The natural phenomenon of heavy rain, the technical assessment by disaster management experts, the institutional decision to escalate to red alert, the media's role in transmitting the message, and the public's responsibility to act on it. Each layer reflects a performance aspect: nature's performance through weather, the institution's performance through alerts, the media's performance through coverage, and the public's performance through response. Even design aspects such as font size, color, placement of the ticker, and urgency in the anchor's tone contribute to how the message is received. A headline about floods delivered in a casual style would lose its impact, but with sharp graphics, measured words, and urgent background music, it signals seriousness without tipping into SAMAA. TV's editorial design ensures the balance is maintained. For anyone analyzing this event in depth, the NDMA Red Alert serves as both a warning and a case study in crisis communication. It reflects how institutions and media adapt to fast-moving challenges, how technical information is translated into public language, and how design elements of news make life-saving differences. In Punjab, where millions live along fertile yet flood-prone plains, such alerts are not abstract. They determine whether families stay safe or face disaster.